I logged onto my Discord server with a simple question for you guys. What is the Forza Horizon 5 second expansion? I wanted to know everything from like the map, the cars, the special themes, and so on. And you guys had some mind-blowing responses, so buckle in. The developers actually confirmed that Series 17 is going to be the release date of the FH5 Expansion 2, but other than that, we have no information. I thought it'd be perfect to get some predictions now before we know anything, so we can come back to this video in a couple of months when the expansion does come out and laugh at all of the things we got wrong or be impressed by all of the things we got right. Long story short though, all we know is that the expansion is set to come out in Series 17 and before the next Forza Motorsport game that's set for like May or June. It's gonna be a really exciting early 2023 for Forza fans. Side note, right now, the AR12 Discord server is very quickly closing in on 100,000 Discord members. And to celebrate that, we're actually hosting a contest where you can pick the Discord banner. Yes, anybody. This really won't end very well. All you have to do is submit a Discord banner in this channel, and then once we reach 101,000 members, we will randomly select one to be the Discord banner for the week. And whoever's Discord banner gets featured, we're actually gonna send that user some AR12 merch to say thank you for ruining the server. Anyways, if you want to join and possibly get some free AR12 merch, there's a link down below. Anyways, let's jump into all of your wild and wacky FH5 Expansion 2 predictions. Feel free to play along in the comments of this video, and again, we'll come back to this in a couple of months and see if we were right or wrong. Prediction number 1 is coming from Mariah Carey. Didn't know she was an AR12 fan, but anyways, thinking of some sort of off-road and weather-related map. Maybe something akin to Fortune Island or Blizzard Mountain, but possibly with a harder focus on off-road trails. Whether those be rally or more stuff like rock crawling, there'd probably be a coastal city if it's based on an island with enough accessible coastline for one. Seriously, I could see the expansion 2 go in that direction, especially if you look at some of the older games. Most of them have had an off-road focus for what was their first expansion. In this case, it's the second expansion. Whether that be like Horizon Rally from Horizon 1, Storm Island, Fortune Island, Blizzard Mountain, and so on, they've always had like an off-roady focus, and I would imagine it's going to be the same thing here. I've also got to say the idea of including something brand new to the game that we haven't been able to do in some of the older Forza games, like rock crawling, would be a lot of fun, honestly. We'd have to see how the developers would implement something like that, but it's a nice idea. Anyways, most likely one barn find with a car list of 10 to 15 cars with a supercar in there or two, with some of the most voted cars off the forum. Personally, I would imagine the developers are going to stick with what they've done in the past, probably like 8 to 10 cars, if I'm honest, with a little bit of variation here and there. Honestly, if you ask me, a pretty solid prediction to start us off. However, let's get into some of the crazier ones, like this one from Kevin. At Nicky Poo, my expansion 2 prediction is a tropical / beachside city like Miami. I already love it. The map would feature a mix of urban, swamp / forest, beach, and a plains area, along with new weather effects like flooding, moderate snow, rising, falling tides to give it more life. Bro, that is so sick. Honestly, the more I think about it, rising and falling tides actually sounds super cool. Maybe if the tides went with like the weekly playlist, for example, like one week you had high tide, the next week you had low tide, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. Anyways, it would actually be really cool to maybe open up new areas of the map that were otherwise inaccessible beforehand. What I love though is what Kevin says at the end of his message: a barn find that you have to scavenge parts for. How sick would that be? Probably something similar to like the Crew 2 or what Need for Speed has done recently. Having to go to multiple places around the map, whether it be to like find an engine, the chassis, the tires, and so on. That would be awesome. And if you tie that into what Kevin was saying earlier about those rising and falling tides, you could actually hide some of those parts in those areas of the map that might not have been accessible on day 1 of the expansion coming out. So players were forced to come back to the game in the future and couldn't just bang out the expansion in one single day. I really like that idea. Kevin actually also said in his message he would also like to see some new gameplay mechanics like race challenges and new event types altogether. Again, I would love to see those types of things. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Forza Horizon's actually missing some pretty basic event types, whether it be like elimination races, for example, or like basic time trials. Those types of things have been in like games for what, like 20 years, 30 years now? I would love to see them implemented in Forza Horizon in a unique way. Kevin's prediction seriously sounds awesome. Maybe a little unrealistic, but awesome. Let's move it on to some other ones, like this one from the Woggle Wiggler Prius Cult. They go on to say they would love to see tropical storms, snow, or deeper mud. Immediately, I'm in. I don't know how well it would fit Forza Horizon. It would definitely need some, you'd call them adjustments to the way the game works. But having deep mud that you could actually get stuck in would be super cool. Imagine getting like one of your supercars beached in some deep mud because you ran too wide in a race, and then you had to fast travel back to your garage without your car to go jump in like a pickup truck where you would attach like a tow strap to your supercar. You'd have two cars out of your garage at one time, and then you'd have to pull your supercar out. That'd be so cool. Awesome prediction. Again, probably unlikely. Would be really fun though. Let's move it on to this one from Dahomey Burns. They say, I believe first off, that the second expansion will introduce a key element that could become a main feature for the next Horizon title, like how the Lego expansion in Horizon 4 introduced the brick challenges that later morphed into the accolades we know of in Forza Horizon 5. That is 100% correct. We're already 1 year post Forza Horizon 5 launch. The developers are using this time to experiment with new features, see what the players engage well with, see what they don't, and use all of that information for the next game. You will 100% see that, and probably see it with the expansion. Anyways, the location will most likely center around a city, given how the community wants a city like Surfer's Paradise in FH3. I think it will also contain potentially street courses / a docking bay for sick drifting scenes and challenges. I love it. They then go on to say the Gumpert S and Enrage will return because fight me. I will not fight you. I am on your side. Developers, please bring back the Gumpert Apollo. Genuinely one of the coolest supercar hypercars of all time. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm honestly okay with paying for cars that we've already had in some of the older Forza games, providing they are some of the all-time favorites, like that Gumpert Apollo. They'd probably have to rebuild the model from scratch, and if that's something we would need to pay for, I'd kind of be okay with it. I also briefly wanted to mention this one from day 719 of Asking for the Crew 1 stream. It's got one of the world's longest run-on sentences, but they finish off by saying, lastly, I think the underground road network can give us access underwater with glass enclosed case so water doesn't come flooding in. I think this guy watched like one of Mr. Beast's new videos and basically wanted to do that with cars. I told you at the start of this we would be getting insane predictions. I don't think this one's happening. Pretty cool though. This next one is probably my favorite prediction of the entire bunch from Forza Livecast. They say, pretty sure we're gonna end up with some sort of city attached to the expansion. With the map being an expansion which is smaller, the Xbox One should have no problem rendering more buildings. I like the way you think already. As for a special feature, I could see possibly a new road style. Adding on to that would be fully working traffic lights that the AI follows would be a nice touch. I 100% agree. Go back through any of the Forza Horizon games and you'll notice this more and more if you're actually looking for it. None of the intersections actually have traffic lights. All of them are just kind of big open intersections that you can just drive through kind of willy-nilly. It kind of breaks the immersion if you're going for like that realistic map look, not having traffic light. Anyways, they go on to say, as the mountain is the only snowy part of the map, I could see a dedicated snow map. I would love for it to include some sort of straight area for drag racing. Yes, 100% yes. It still blows my mind that the developers haven't added in a proper quarter-mile drag strip. My quarter-mile drag strip that I made in the event lab has over 100,000 plays now. from all of you guys just going in and testing your cars to see what they would do on a quarter mile. I would love a proper drag strip in the game that is arrow straight, perfectly smooth, and prepped for extra grip so you can actually see what your cars can do in the game. I love that. So there you have it. Those were some of the best predictions we got for the Forza Horizon 5 second expansion. I got a ton more. Feel free to jump onto the Discord server and read them for yourself. And while you're there, submit a banner so you too can ruin the server. And if you're lucky, you might take home some brand new AR12 merch. As always, if you want to check any of this stuff out, there's a link down below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more. See you then. Bye.